JM, another week of football in the books. The biggest Rumble wrinkle yet. Let's get into it. Rumble review show for week 15 coming at you now. JM. We've got Dylan. We've got Neil. We've got some others lurking around. Happy Monday, everyone. Cheers to another week of football. What an interesting week it was, particularly for the game of Rumble. One of the unique things about Rumble is the Rumble Wrinkle, in which you can use players that have already played either on Thursday or on Saturday prior to the slate locking on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we had massive implications with that this week. We talked on the preview show about the fact that we had George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey already pretty locked into big games. And then things just got even crazier on Saturday as nearly the optimal was nearly playable just from people that played on Thursday and Saturday. So as we'll see, we had a massive train of I guess it wasn't that massive, but we had a train of a lineup where people played that. It ended up being the second highest scoring. Two other people made one slight pivot, giving it the best lineup. JM, Sergeant Stogie, JM, Josh Allen. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead. We're going to share the screen. We're going to take a look at the main event here. And also today, we're going to do a little underdog fantasy draft at the end of this. Do a little playoff underdog contest. We're partnering up with Underdog Fantasy this playoff season. So if you have not already, head on over to underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code OTM. You will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You can also use the link below in the show notes. Click through directly there. Sign up. Make your deposit. Underdog's a ton of fun. We're going to have a lot of content coming out on that in January, and we're also going to have a little extra sweetener as well. A little extra sweetener for people that sign up for Underdog, or if you're already an Underdog member, there will be opportunities for you as well. So we're going to have more details on that coming out probably next week, is my guess, in terms of specifically what this means. But if you sign up in the meantime, you'll be plenty good to go. All right. So here we go. Now let's start with the stock lineup that people played. So Delta Life. There we have it. Josh Allen. Oh no, this is not the one. This is okay. So more people surpassed that. But here's Stogie played, or did it just so happen that no, Derrick Henry's there too. Yeah. So here's the lineup that a lot of people played, where there was just one pivot in the flex. That was Derrick Henry. I guess the other lineup scored a little less because that was where you had Tyreek Hill in the flex. So Justin Jefferson. Yeah. So basically what we saw a lot of people do is play Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, KJ Osborne, George Kittle, Justin Jefferson, Indianapolis D, and then there was kind of like one, maybe two slots that people could mix up there, right? Because all of these scores were already locked in, and yeah. So it was really a unique slate where it's like, okay, you could just play that lineup, but you know that a lot of people are going to dupe it, or you can do what Kookaburra and Yeah Baby did. Shout out Yeah Baby, always a fan of the show, coming in second place, just barely losing on the serial tiebreaker. I mean, not barely, because this guy 682 versus 2,450. So fun to see serials come into play here. But what they have, okay. So Neil says OBJ at number 38. Thank you. I should have looked that up prior. Okay, here we go. So let's start with this, because I think this was kind of the starting point of the slate. This was the lineup that was 100% a Wrinkle lineup. So Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, George Kittle, KJ Osborne, and the Indianapolis defense with Josh Allen as the hero. This was the team where you locked in these points, 232.08, before the slate even starts. And so OBJ played it at 38th place. And let's see. And 60th place. So yeah, so 22 people played this lineup and locked in their points. OBJ with a miraculous 171 serial. I mean, look at this. Number 15, number 9, number 23, 31, 41, 40. So all serials under 50 and 3 single-digit serials. So shout out to OBJ for a heck of a serial lineup there. They were taking the gamble that Tyreek Hill was going to hold up with his 21.9, and this was going to remain the optimal. What we ended up seeing, like I said, was Kookaburra and Yeah Baby played that exact same lineup, except instead of Tyreek Hill, they played A.J. Brown. And look at this, number 1 serial A.J. Brown for Kookaburra. And A.J. Brown ends up scoring 27.1 points, outscoring Tyreek Hill by 6 points. So there we have it. And here we go. Yeah, Baby in second place, shipping it with the $1,000 there. Awesome stuff. Yeah, so I mean, I think that this was the appropriate thing to do, and the smart strategic thing to do in the main event was to play a majority lineup that was, maybe had 1, maybe 2 extra spots, and then just try to differentiate that final place. And AJ Brown was a great way to do it. Just 13% owned. And I really like that approach there. And looking at the ownership percentages here, look, only, so Dalvin Cook only has the rare, right? So that's why only 10%, 11% of people were able to play Dalvin Cook. But even, I mean, Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Jefferson, Osborne's only 30% owned. Kittle just over 50. Indianapolis D only 42%. So it's not like every single person was playing these guys. So, I mean, to get Osborne at only 30%, that's a pretty nice play right there. And we're seeing the same thing here that we saw a couple weeks back with Stephon. I think it was on Thanksgiving with Stephon Diggs and Isaiah McKenzie, where McKenzie ended up outscoring Diggs, and yet more people played Diggs than McKenzie. Again, likely because they already owned the Diggs in their collection and they didn't feel like going out and buying up a McKenzie. Same thing happened here. Justin Jefferson coming in at twice the ownership of KJ Osborne, even though Osborne outscored him by 1.4. Again, because people likely already have Justin Jefferson in there, and we have it there. Okay, looks like there's also some wrinkle lineups with Christian Watson or Lazard replacing Hill. So those guys they'll be chasing down. So if Lazard or Watson can score more than 27.1, they will still be live to take down first place in the main event. So there we have it. Pretty unique and interesting week there. And then if we look at, so let's look at the touchdown, for example, where we'll see the ownership be super, super condensed. So here we have Master of Worm and Sergeant Stogie tying for first place with that Derrick Henry lineup that we saw in the main event. And yeah, I mean, look at this. We've got Josh Allen at over 90% owned. McCaffrey is literally nearly 100% owned. Dalvin Cook, even though you could only use a rare, at over 60% owned. So you can see a lot of people playing a touchdown have that Dalvin Cook rare available. Justin Jefferson. I mean, all of these people are like nearly 100% owned, 90% plus owned. And I think that makes a ton of sense in these cumulative contests because it doesn't matter how you do in that given week, right? And running up a train and, not having the lower serial number, it doesn't really matter as much because you're just going for the pure raw points that you can add to your cumulative leaderboard. So for the JJ leaderboards, I think it makes a ton of sense that people just kind of fired in, locked in the points, move on to the next week. And we've got our updated leaderboards. We got NBA Jam is now leading the extra point contest here. Tinzel Tom in second. Bet the House in fourth. Yeah, baby. Only 20 points behind. So there's still tons and tons of people that are in contention as we head to the final 3 weeks here now. All we have left is week 16, 17, and 18. This week, lineups will be locking on Saturday. So pretty much all of the games, because of the Christmas holiday, are taking place on Saturday this week. So we're not going to have another wrinkle situation. All of the lineups will lock on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then that's all we've got left is 3 straight weeks here. We've got LLC 45 in the lead in the field goal with that 10K prize up top. Tinzel Tom right on his heels, 5 points behind. And plenty of other people in contention within striking distance. And then for the touchdown, Redbird remains at the top with 950 points. Couple of people within, within 15 points here. Matty Ice down in 5th place with 935. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here. And it should be fun last couple of weeks. And, week 18 could also be super interesting if you're going to have people that are not playing because of playoff implications and maybe they already locked in their spot. So it'll definitely be part of the strategy for week 18 to identify which players and teams are still motivated and rolling out all of their guys. All right, which I think is a good transition. So Justin has really got me hooked on this site over at 538, where you can take a look at the playoff scenarios. And I think it's a good time to kind of break down what we're going to see here. So we've got, a lot of teams are locked up. So we now have locked into playoffs a couple teams here. I guess these all have now clinched their respective playoff berths and divisions. So in the NFC, got my Eagles up top, pretty much locked in the division in the first round bye. Not officially, but it's really only a matter of time. And we have the big matchup between the Cowboys and the Eagles this week. So if the Cowboys or the Eagles are able to get the win, that will officially lock up their first round bye there over Dallas. So yeah, this is a great little tool that you can use to kind of check out the scenarios, and it's super useful for playing Underdog Fantasy. And just kind of surveying things here. So let's do a little Underdog here. Let's do a little Underdog. Not sure what the people in chat are already playing Underdog or not, but like we said, we're partnering up with them. Going to be a lot of fun. And they've got the Gauntlet contest running. So it's a $25 entry fee. You participate in a draft with a total of 6 people. You select as many people as you would like, but each week you need to play 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 wide receiver / tight ends, 1 flex, and then you get 5 bench spots. And how this tournament works, similar to the season-long Underdog Best Ball, is that you draft with your group of 6 people. The winner of your group moves on to the next round, and then you eventually get to a final week where it is just the teams that are remaining in the Super Bowl, right? And so when you're drafting these playoff teams, it's super important to make sure that you have line of sight to having at least 5 players that are live in the Super Bowl entry, right? So what that means, right? So if the Super Bowl ends up being the Eagles versus the Chiefs, right? You want to build your lineup in a way where you are able to get to the Super Bowl with as many players as possible still playing in that game. And you need to do so in a way where you can survive to get to that point. So the Eagles are the perfect example. The Eagles are going to have that first round bye. So if you're drafting Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, you need to draft another quarterback so that you get some points in that first round. And that's a super critical part of this. You need to be able to get through the first round, but you also need to create that balance where you're able to have a full team come playoff time. So here we go. We're going to hit enter. If anyone's in chat and wants to draft with us, Coop, I see Coop's ready to enter. We're entering. Oh, waiting for 5 people. Boom. So if anyone's out there and you want to jump in, head on over to Underdog Fantasy. We are about to draft for the playoff Best Ball Mania. $25. I imagine they'll be rolling out some cheaper contests as well. They usually have like the puppy contest, which is a $5 buy-in, or maybe they'll have a $10 buy-in. And here we go. So looking at kind of ADP here, you can see that Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes are not surprisingly the top 3 picks. And, you know, it's interesting because, again, Hurts has that first round bye pretty much locked up. And then the Chiefs and the Bills are a bit of a toss-up right now as to who gets that bye. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what's determining the draft order here. You've got Christian McCaffrey creeping up as that 4th overall pick. Travis Kelce in the 5 spot. I mean, one of the things about Kelce is that he's not quite as valuable in this format as he typically would be, just given the fact that he counts as a wide receiver / tight end and not just a tight end. One of the things about, you know, season-long best ball and Underdog in particular is that you get that huge positional edge, and, you know, you're not getting the same level there. I need to tilt as we wait for this to fill up. We're still waiting for 3 people. I need to tilt one of my best ball lineups here because, such a good lineup, and it's not going to advance, and I'm pretty mad about it. This one right here. 171 points. I scored 171 points this week, and this guy, William friggin' McKinney, scores 174. Like, you got to be kidding me. 171 is a smash. Like, if I click on all of these, yeah, nobody, like, 172 there. I mean, 171 is an absolute smash and should totally be advancing. And look at this team. It's such, I'm so tilted. It's such a good team. I got Hurts stacked up with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I've got Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Raheem Mostert at running back, stacked at running back. At wide receiver, in addition to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, I've got Devo. I've got Zay Jones, who's been on fire. I've got Darren Waller at tight end, who just came back from injury. Like, oh, man, I really would have liked this team to advance. So I've got two teams advancing, and I'm not super, and I know we filled the draft here, so we're about to start. I'm not super in love with either of them. I mean, this team that's advancing right here for me, and I think hopefully it's pretty locked into advancing. Stinking Cooper Kupp on this team, and it advances somehow. It advanced the whole season. I got Emmanuel Sanders. He didn't even play all year. He's on this team. Some of the teams that get through, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Carson Wentz hasn't been playing all year, but Josh Allen's carried me through there. Anyways, pretty fired up that Eagles team did not get through. I really think it would have been an absolute smash. All right, here we go. We got the number 4th pick. Oh, we got Andy Reid off a bye in here. We got Coop in here. Not sure if any of you other T-Baller. Is T-Baller in the chat? T-Man? Maybe I'm just mixing up with T-Man. We got some sharks in the waters here. Good luck, everyone. I'm assuming I'm going to end up with Christian McCaffrey at the 4th pick here. And if not, I'll happily take Jalen Hurts. Nope. All right. I mean, I don't think there's too much to think about here. McCaffrey has just been amazing. He's a smash play. You know, we look at the 49ers here. They don't have the greatest chances of making it to the Super Bowl. But, I mean, you got to take him here in the world where the 49ers do make it to the Super Bowl. You're going to want Christian McCaffrey because if they get there, it is going to be through him. All right. And so what this means is that from a roster construction standpoint, the rest of the way, I am going to be looking to, of course, load up on 49ers players, but I'm also going to need to be loading up on the AFC side of things, right? I can already tell I'm not going to love how this is going to go because you're taking Burrow. Yeah, as you should. So interesting start here. You know, what's Miami looking like? Miami's chances of making the playoffs, 72%. So I could, of course, go with Diggs. If I go with Diggs, going with Diggs seems fine here. Take the points with Diggs. The problem with me taking Diggs is that I obviously don't have Josh Allen. And so I already don't like the way that this is starting because I can't get Josh Allen at quarterback. I would then need to have, go with Brock Purdy later on to round out my San Francisco stack. So I'll probably end up with a 2 QB team of taking Purdy and then, trying to get either Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, or Tua and kind of have a multifaceted San Francisco versus maybe 2 different AFC teams, one of which can be the Bills without Josh Allen, or, at least I have Diggs to help me get through those early rounds. We're taking Debo here, huh? We're reaching on Debo. This disaster has already started. It's off the rails. We're 2 rounds in and we hate our team. Yeah, you hate to see it. 2 rounds in, already feeling like I'm drawing dead. We'll see what happens here. I mean, all right. We at least can get little Tyreek action. Oh, man, this is just going to get so ugly. I mean, do we even want Tyreek? We got Derrick Henry as an option. No, they're only 58% to make the playoffs. It's ugly. But I'm going to go with Tyreek here. We can make some magic happen, We can make some magic happen. But I am not happy with how I started this draft, honestly. I'm really not. Really not happy. Maybe it's the curse of trying to draft on stream. Justin saw it. Justin was doing a bunch of full season best ball drafts on stream, and his on stream advanced percentage relative to his regular advanced percentage was not great. Well, it's not great. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of that happen to me here too. But you know what? I think what we're going to do is end up going with multiple, maybe 2 AFC quarterbacks, couple San Francisco people, and go for a turnout where it's like, either Miami or the Chargers or the Ravens get to the Super Bowl against San Francisco. I mean, Brock Purdy though, maybe he can sling it. The guy's out there playing. He's out there playing. So what's Miami's deal now that they lost? So they, if they can beat Green Bay, all right. I mean, if they can win some games here, they're still going to get in, and they've got that high flying offense. So I'll take Waddle. So I've got Tyreek and I've got Waddle. From there, we can start to queue up some of the other SF players. I think we can start to look at the quarterbacks in the AFC. We can start to look at Purdy. Let's see how the rest of the teams are doing. Let's see what Coop's got going on. All right. So this is a classic build, I feel like. Kansas City versus Dallas. Feels wild. I mean, dude, Jerick McKinnon has just been absolutely a beast. So Coop could probably take either McKinnon or Juju here. Or Dak. That also works. I like that, especially if the Chiefs end up getting a bye. You've got the Dak stack here. Makes a ton of sense. I feel much better about Coop's optionality here than about my own personal optionality. I've got, I'm going, all right. So see, this is what I wish my team was looking like. I wish that's what my team looks like, but it doesn't. My team does not look like that. My team looks worse than that. But we can make it work. I'll take a little Ayuk action here. Little Brandon Ayuk. Let's go back and check out all right. So Ravens, Dolphins. Yeah. Okay. It could be worse. Could be better, could be worse. Could be better, could be worse is how I would phrase this current structure of my team. But you know what? If I add a little QB action on my next pick, and he's got the nice Burrow stack here with Miles Sanders on the way back. I like that. I like that, Andy. It's a good squad. All right, let's round out my Tua stack here. So now I've got Tua with Tyreek and Waddle. Okay. These are fun to do on stream. I just sit here and talk out loud, tilt how bad my teams are. That's one of the fun things about the Underdog draft is like, you can quote unquote know what you're doing, but you can get in the middle of a draft and be like, "Ooh, this is not going well for me." All right, Coop. What's Coop got? Oh yeah. I mean, this is just a beautiful team so far. Absolutely beautiful team so far from Coop. Must be nice. Run hot. Sun run Coop. Sun run Coop. Easy game. Easy game. Just the full Michael Gallup, man. Michael Gallup friggin' killed me in DFS yesterday. Final 2v2 was Michael Gallup and a defense versus stinking Zay Jones, the best wide receiver in the league, apparently. Zay Jones is just the best wide receiver in the league now. Like, come on. And Michael Gallup gets like 0.7 points on FanDuel. Ugh. Not a great day for me in DFS cash yesterday. AM Carter, you're just going to do that? You're just going to take Purdy from me like that? For seemingly no reason. Interesting. Interesting strategy. Interesting strategy indeed. I'm going to take Austin Eckler. I'm going to take Austin Eckler. Which one of you people is going to snag Burrow or Herbert from right under my eyes? Up, T-Baller's doing it. Oh, no, he's not. He's not. All right. We're going to get Justin Herbert here. So now, yeah, we're going to have a little, a little multi-way action here. The shame of this is that, Stephon Diggs, I basically burned a spot on Stephon Diggs, which, it is what it is. It happens. All right, so this is, so I can take Herbert here, and now I can get a little Herbert. So now I've got two ways to get there. So I can get either a Miami, San Francisco, or a Chargers, San Francisco Super Bowl. I've got two skill players on the San Francisco side. I've got 3 Miami. So if it's a San Francisco, Miami Super Bowl, I have my 5 players that I would need. And right now for a Chargers, San Francisco Super Bowl, I've got 4 players. So I've got Herbert and Eckler, and then I've got McCaffrey and Ayuk. So I'll be looking to add another player from the Chargers, and then, maybe someone else from San Francisco. Is there even anyone on San Francisco worth taking anymore? Probably not. Jimmy G? Should I just jam in Jimmy G? Juwan Jennings? Just the ultimate reach on Juwan Jennings. All right, there's really nowhere. That's not ideal. LAC. Yeah, maybe I can get Big Mike Williams if one of you guys don't steal it from me. Don't do it, Coop. AM Carter with the full Philly stack. The full Philly stack. Producer Coop just continuing to fire on Dallas. Dallas really lends itself to making drafting pretty straightforward, I think. There's just a lot of options, which is nice. And you can get all of them. Like, it can happen. Oh, now he's taking Juwan Jennings. What is going on here? What is going on here, AM Carter? What did I do to you? All right, we'll take Big Mike Williams. So now I've got 2 ways to get home. I've got a Chargers San Francisco Super Bowl, and I've got a Miami San Francisco Super Bowl. And I've got, Stephon Diggs to help me get through the early stages. There's no point in me adding anything to my Buffalo stack, right? So like it might look like, oh, why not take McKenzie or James Cook? But I'd be drawing dead in that scenario, because if it's a San Francisco Buffalo Super Bowl, I already can't win because I don't have a quarterback in that game. So there's no point in me trying to add to that stack because it's a losing proposition. Whereas, I'll probably add Mostert, I guess, makes the most sense for me. I'll probably just have to add Mostert. I think that's my play. Right, yeah. You add Mostert in the spot. You have 2 ways to get there. You don't love it, but you have outs, And that's really all this tournament is about, is getting as many darts thrown at the board, hoping that one of them hits. And then you just kind of go from there. Let's see. Andy Reid ended up with the Cincinnati Tampa. Okay. Full-on Cincinnati Tampa onslaught. But can also get there with an Eagles Bengals, right? So he's got a one-off from Miles Sanders. So he can get there with Cincinnati. 1, 2, 3, 4 players from Cincinnati and 1 from let's go back to it. Yeah, so Andy Reid can get there with his 4 from Cincinnati and then 1 from Philadelphia, or he'd have 4 from Cincinnati and also 4 from Tampa. So that's a great outcome. Or he can get there with 4 from Tampa and Derrick Henry as a one-off from Tennessee. So great construction here from Andy Reid off a bye. Clearly not your first draft. You know what you're doing. Let's see what producer Coop ended up with here. So Coop is all in on the Dallas versus Kansas City Super Bowl, but also has a backdoor out for Dallas versus Baltimore as well with the J.K. Dobbins one-off. Yeah, so it's all in on Dallas. I mean, the other thing too, right, is that when you pick 6 people from Dallas, I mean, you could theoretically, it could be Dallas versus the Chargers or versus any other AFC team, and like you still technically could win, right? Like the optimal lineup could just end up being 5 Dallas players. It could be, oh, the team you need to win is Dak, Pollard, CD, Gallup, and Schultz, and that just beats everyone else. Like that is possible, and so that's why I do like when I can get 5 from one team, because it's at least like, hey, if that team makes it, like you theoretically have an out. What you don't want to do is get to the Super Bowl and only have 4 players available. That's where things run a little thin. Bo, good morning, Bo. We were reviewing your lineup earlier. 2nd place in the main event. Congrats, man. Congrats. Killer lineup. AJ Brown in the flex. You can go back to the beginning of the show and check out our little segment that we did there. Just wrapped up our first on-stream Underdog draft for the Gauntlet playoff best ball. We'll be doing a lot more of these going forward. Probably we'll start to just do these on all these solo streams. It's fun to do. Talk a little strategy, have some fun in chat, put together some teams. Hopefully one of us will take it down. What's the top prize on this thing? Let's see. The Gauntlet. 100K up top. Wow. There it is. Why not us, right? Why not a Jolly Joker taking down 100K on Underdog? Head on over, underdogfantasy.com, promo code OTM, or simply click the link below the video. That's going to be it for today. We've got some exciting stuff coming up. We had the SimWin announcement, so keep an eye out for something SimWin related coming soon. We have the partnership with Underdog, and we're going to be having an additional fun playoff activity that we'll be talking about soon. Excited to get that out there. Going to be working with some other communities as well. So anyone out there, any sports or flow or any NFT communities that are out there that anyone thinks would be a good partner for us for an NFL playoff contest, definitely let me know. We're looking to work with as many people as we can and have some fun stuff coming up. January is going to be big. Happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of the end of the year, and we're going to be off and running in January. All right, little longer show today, but it was fun. Glad we got to do that draft. See you all in Discord, on Twitter. We'll be back soon. Happy Monday. Peace out.